Hey y'all, how are you doing? There we go. Like, how do I make it? And now I have to see, how do I see the chat? There you are. How are you guys? It's good to see you. How was your weekend? How's your week looking? Hi, Cricket. Hi, Susan. Brian. It's okay if you haven't read the book. The first 2 chapters are really, really short. They're really short. Yeah, Scooter Mom, I deleted the old one. Thank you for trying to tell me. I didn't see it until 15 minutes ago. So I made this new one and deleted the old one. I was like, what? What do you mean? Oh, 6 a.m. Yeah, 6 a.m. Who am I missing? Indigo? Yes, Indigo's name was something else before this iteration. I think Indigo likes to change their name. Same old stuff, different day. Yep, different flippin' day. That is my life right now too. I spent the day making a lesson plan on culture shock. I'm using my AI more and more and more. Cricket, you'd be proud of me. I had it right. I had 5 words and I needed a passage of a couple of paragraphs about culture shock that included those specific 5 words. So it gave me a passage with those words in it that makes sense. I told it, I told the AI what reading level the passage needed to be at. And then after I guess we're going to have balloons. After I got the passage, I told ChatGPT, please, to give me a picture depicting that passage. Hi, Paolo. How are you? This one is going to be your Scientology related one. Okay. We can always find indigo with indigos. So I've been playing with the AI and it is making things really easy. So I think I've got a pretty good lesson for tomorrow. And now I need to go and make a lesson for Thursday's class on disasters and emergencies. So that's going to be the trick. So guys, the chapters are of much varying lengths. The chapters are of much varying lengths. And they tend to be a little shorter than Jenna's. So, how many of you all actually read the first 2 chapters? Yeah, they were a lot shorter, weren't they, Indigo? That's why I'm thinking we probably need to read. I mean, if we only read 2 chapters a week, we're going to be reading this book for 6 months because she's got how many chapters does she have? 56 chapters. You did, Cricket? Excellent. You did, Indigo? Excellent. Big Chief, how are you doing? It's good to see you again. I just saw Big Chief about 15 minutes ago in MLH's live stream. He had some excellent news about a legal case where a police case where he was assaulted, and he talked about the outcome. You think we could do 4 at a time? I think we could do 6 at a time, Indigo. $30 pages or so at a time. Does that work for folks? About 35 pages. Yeah, catch MLH's replay. So I think what we'll do is about 6 chapters or 35 pages. Do you guys think 35 pages is manageable? I cannot figure out where it sees me giving a thumbs up. Both of my hands are down here under my chin, and yet it sees me giving a thumbs up. Okay. 6 chapters, 35 pages. I'll space it out each time. You're listening to the audio, so it's easier. Good, Cricket. I should have looked at the book before I assigned the 2 chapters, but you know, it's okay. We got the picture at 6 because the next chapter, chapter 3, is when she's 8. So this is a snapshot of life when she was 6. Do you guys remember what the ATA is? I can't remember what the ATA is. Oh, Apollo Training Academy. Apollo Training Academy. I mean, it's such a lovely, I really, really like Catherine's flow. It's just a day in the life. What did you guys think of Catherine's day in the life? Chinese school. I mean, that was a long day. Yeah. Apollo Training Academy for kids. There was so much cram packed into that one day. And the picture of 30 seconds in the bathroom with all the cockroaches. Very matter of fact. Yeah. Yeah. Very matter of fact. This is how it was. This is who all the people were. The room was a flurry of motion as girls made their beds. Katherine stepped inside the bathroom, sat on the toilet, tried not to look at the cockroaches in the corner while she peed. Finished peeing, stepped up on the stool to reach my toothbrush, which was sticking out of one of the cups, put bristles pushed flat from overuse. Then she talks about her stupid hair. I think it's interesting that she said that they were spanked or punished for not doing things right. Yeah, she did say they were spanked for not doing things right. One minute in the bathroom, y'all. Your minute's up. A 6-year-old was allowed 1 minute in the bathroom. And she accomplished it. She peed and brushed her teeth in 1 minute as a 6-year-old. And then got dressed. And then they chicken picked the floors rather than vacuum them. They were in an apartment building and had to walk. They were in the apartment building and had to walk. Yep. She mentioned it when she talked about skipping school. Yeah, I read ahead too because 2 chapters was not quite enough. I can't quite believe that those children by themselves, not by themselves, but I can't believe those children walked all those blocks to school through that neighborhood from the apartment to the school every day for months and years. And nobody wondered about how the children were living or where their parents were. Does that not seem odd, y'all? Or were they just living in an industrial area where nobody ever noticed? She didn't talk about encountering other people. Brown houses and one-story businesses on Fountain Avenue. Chapter 2 was the L. Ron Hubbard exhibition. Learned all about how L. Ron Hubbard created Dianetics. And ditching school was chapter 3. Oh, how I loved L. Ron Hubbard. When the movie ended, I jumped up, clapping and cheering along with all the other children. There's just, I mean, how did you guys think that this compared with Jenna's book? At the beginning of Jenna's book, it seemed a lot the same, except Katherine, it's okay, Indigo. It's okay. I read ahead too. I just find so many similarities between the way Katherine talks about things and the way Jenna talks about things in this matter of fact tone about everything that happened. I didn't realize this was a thing. Did you guys realize that this was a thing? Let me read this paragraph. Now came my favorite part of the tour. I followed the tour guide into the theater. Sinking into the velvet red chairs, I wiggled with excitement. The lights dimmed as a rumble came through the speakers. Mist appeared from the front of the room, enveloping us so we couldn't even see our feet. A lifelike volcano was on the stage. I watched enthralled as the lava frothed over and ran in rivulets down the volcano. A voice came over the speaker announcing the birth of Dianetics, discovered by L. Ron Hubbard. The volcano looked just like the one on the cover of the book Dianetics. As the lava flowed, the room darkened. A large, thin screen lowered and began playing a movie. Very strange thumbs up. I didn't do a thumbs up. Hey, Brian, how are you? Red, it's good to see you. You had a messed up childhood, but it was nothing compared to what some of these people went through. Exactly, Brian. Exactly. Big Blue used to be a hospital, so I'm assuming businesses on Fountain Avenue probably serviced the area before it was in Scientologist hands. Yes. How are you doing, Red? I did not mean to click that way. I meant to take a look at that interview. What's that interview from, Cricket? So let's look at just a little bit of Katherine Spallino, guys. Have all of you seen her? This looks excellent. Oh, this is Cults to Consciousness. This is Shalice. Excellent. The cockroaches make me wig out. I can't with cockroaches. I grew up in Minnesota. I grew up in Minnesota where if you have cockroaches, you have a cleanliness problem. That's where I grew up in Minnesota, where the cockroaches are killed by the winter. Yep, cults to consciousness. We'll look at a little bit in a minute. And then I moved from Minnesota to Phoenix. And in Phoenix, if you don't have an exterminator, you have cockroaches. If you don't have an exterminator, you have cockroaches. Even sometimes if you do have an exterminator, you have cockroaches. I did not like Phoenix. I do not like cockroaches. You're dismantling your office and turning it into a second living room. Where are you going to put your office, Red? That sounds excellent. Okay, let's look at Shalise for a minute and see what she has to say. Whoops. Okay, you guys.
Adults to come back to the church because they like aren't coming anymore.
Oh, wow.
And I would have this list of people to call, and I would call them and I would get sworn at, I would get hung up on. They're probably being harassed, all of these people who I'm calling. And I'm just like, why do people seem to hate Scientology so much? I don't understand. Red flag. But like I said, I have other cadet friends, a lot of them with misspelled names, wrong birthdays, things like that. I was horribly neglected as a child. And I was forced into hard labor and no education. And my mom said, when I said to her, I've been working on writing, she said, you better not be writing about Scientology. That was her first reaction. It is what it is. How I was raised was how I was raised. And I just want people to form their own opinions about it.
That is Katherine Spallino. And she has some amazing things to say. It is a really good interview. Shalise does a really great job. Red, that's really exciting. Where are you going to put your computer, though? So we have decided, for those of you who came in late, that these chapters, Catherine's chapters, are much, much shorter than Jenna's chapters were. So what we are going to do is we're going to read probably about 6 chapters at a time, about 35 pages. And hopefully that'll get us through quicker than 6 months. Hey, Cece, how are you doing? You're welcome. I'm glad you're here. It's always lovely to see you. We were just talking about the first 2 chapters of Catherine's book, and they give a real nice snapshot of her life when she was 6. Did you get a chance to read it, Cece? There isn't much to talk about because we only did the first 2 chapters. I only scheduled us for the first 2 chapters, and we're really going to have to read about 6 at a time to get through the book sooner than next summer. Oh my goodness, Indigo. That part was like, you don't think you can make it without interrupting? Oh my. Yeah, she went on and on. Let me find the passage. Today, as I walked with the other kids into our school, all I noticed was my stomach growling. I couldn't wait to get breakfast. I followed the other girls and boys in line as we walked through the chain link gate into the front yard. Once inside, we scattered like wild animals and ran toward the front door, eager for our first meal of the day. Slow down, the adults shouted as we dispersed. We ignored them and barreled our way through the tiny hallway, our bodies bouncing off the walls and each other. As I passed the classroom where my mom taught, I glanced in and saw her with her charges. I gave her a quick wave and just caught her smile, her eyes crinkling, before I passed in a blur. My stomach warmed with happiness. I love when I manage to catch a bit of her attention. You listened to audio a few hours, you needed a break? Yeah. Mighty Mighty Upstats broke my heart? Yeah. I loved when I managed to catch a bit of her attention. That broke my heart. In the middle of being hungry, I refocused and joined the others running to the buffet, but got caught in the crowd in the doorway. I pushed through and joined the line as more kids rushed in behind us. I craned my neck to see what was on the table. Cornflakes and milk. Yum! Finally, I reached the front and grabbed a bowl of cereal and a carton of milk. I went to sit down in my usual seat. Mandy and a few of our friends joined me. When we were done, we cleaned our table and went outside. So food is taking up so much space, and then it takes up no space. There's no discussion about eating. There's just how hungry we were, and then we went outside. And then they went to Chinese school. And then the Mighty Mighty Upstats. Yep, we are the Upstats, the Mighty Mighty Upstats. Wherever we go, people want to know who we are, so we tell them we are the Upstats, Mighty Mighty Upstats. Mighty Mighty Upstats. We are the Upstats, the Mighty Mighty Upstats. Wherever we go, people want to know who we are, and so we tell them we are the Upstats, the Mighty Mighty Upstats. We are the Upstats, the Mighty Mighty Upstats. It's pretty amazing what humans can adapt to. And it's pretty amazing that those human children have grown up to be functional members of society. After reading that day in the life of 6-year-old Katherine, how hard that must have been. It was such a full day and so much to do. And if you read ahead, it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. So, y'all, what about the book would you like to talk about? I'm not sure if we're going to be able to do 2 hours on those 2 chapters. I've been painting some more rocks. See, I painted a monster rock. Oh, come on. Can you see him? There he is. And I made it this one. Definitely not 2 hours. It must be awful coming to the realization that you don't see your parents. Must be so harmful for her that she was used to it. But Jenna wasn't when she joined. Yes. I think it was harder on Jenna. Yeah, Scooter Mom, definitely not 2 hours. Although if I get on a roll, if we got on a roll talking about something, who knows how long we can be here. But I could start the Minnesota goodbyes early if you guys want. I was thinking a lot about cultural norms and traditions and culture shock. When I was reading these chapters, because I'm doing a lesson on culture shock for tomorrow night. And the commonalities, I mean, the identity issues that come along with being raised in Scientology, and the culture shock that folks experience when they come out of Scientology is just fascinating to me. I thought it was really sad. She thought she was ugly because of her hair. I think her hair is fabulous. She wanted pretty non-curly hair that laid down straight. And all the people with straight hair want the pretty curly hair that goes into curls. It's always the way it is. The grass is always greener. The grass is always greener. Everybody with curly hair wants straight, and everybody with straight hair wants curly. It's a funny, funny thing. It would be interesting to read a book. It would be interesting, for example, hi, Robert. Hi, Sunrise. How are you guys? I think it would be really interesting to read, for example, Mitch's book in comparison to Jenna or Katherine. I'm curious to read. The I Love LRH was hard to put into She sure did think he was the bomb. She sure did think he was the bomb. That's for damn sure. And what does that mean to a 6-year-old who doesn't get to see their mother on a regular basis, right? Like how does that even work? And the thought I was on right before now, I've completely lost it, guys. So if you want me to finish that thought, you're going to have to give it back at me. I completely lost it. Losing threads left and right. You let out an audible ugh at that? Yeah. There were lots of audible ughs in this first 2 chapters. Did you guys know that there was like a real volcano that put out mist so you couldn't see your shoes before the movie? Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. I didn't know that that was a thing. Is that a thing? That was the thing that I was saying, isn't it, Indigo? That it would be interesting to read it from the perspective of an adult who goes into it. Because what we're getting is another perspective from a child who was raised, who is a second generation. Yeah, I had no idea either, Scooter Mom. I was like, there's a fucking Disneyland ride, volcano, with mist pouring out of it before the L. Ron Hubbard movie. I mean, if I was a 6-year-old, I'd fucking like that too. I am going with the F-bombs tonight, y'all, apparently. Going with the F-bombs. It's going to be a short live. We didn't read enough chapters. I can give you a look ahead. In chapter 3, in chapter 3, she's 8 years old and becomes a cadet. And she talks about joining the cadet org. And it's just about as sad. I'm trying to figure out how we were able to bring down Nexium, but we're not able to bring down Scientology. You listened up to halfway through chapter 6? I think I read about halfway through chapter 6. Let me look. How far did the rest of y'all go? If y'all want to go further, we can go farther. I got partway through chapter 8. But we can get they were really short chapters, 3 through 6. So you guys tell me what you want. Do we want to go up through chapter 6? Or do we want to wait next week and we'll do chapters 3 through 9? Next week will be chapters 3 through 9. And we'll start with the first Minnesota Goodbye early. Did you guys know that we have a new prize for winning the third Minnesota Goodbye? It's a pretty amazing prize. And they are new and different every single episode, every single live. So this was the trophy yesterday. Isn't that adorable? Isn't he adorable? Isn't he the most adorable thing ever? So that was yesterday's prize for third Minnesota goodbye. We will have a new one for today. Cricket has volunteered to make these wonderful, wonderful prizes for third Minnesota goodbye. And what I have to do is figure out, isn't he adorable? Yeah. What I have to do is figure out how to make you guys not want to show up late now that I've made you guys want to show up late. So now that we have a third Minnesota goodbye prize, everybody's going to want it. Nobody's going to show up on time. So how do I incentivize y'all to show up on time better than a third Minnesota goodbye prize? I'm flummoxed. I'm flummoxed. I have no idea what to do. I mean, not that you guys don't show up on time, because you do, but now you're going to be, I mean, I would be motivated to show up late. I'm having so much fun painting these little rocks. Did I tell you guys I bought paints? You're totally not here to hear me talk about this stuff, but this was a quick live today. I made a jack-o'-lantern. Doesn't he look cute? Orion is not included, only the picture of Orion. You may only have the picture of Orion. You also have to see the adorable pictures that Cricket made of No Face at the bar. They're just adorable. You need an Orion fix? I can arrange that in just a minute. First, let's look at these amazing pictures at my bar. There's the first one at my bar. And oh no, Cece, well, I'm glad you're back. Cricket, that's funny. This one is also excellent of No Face, I think with No Face's kitten. And then we have this one at the bar. Which I adore. And then we have my favorite with the bow tie. I just love going on and on about Cricket's amazing, amazing work. Yeah, Cricket, I mean, that's one of the things I've heard Reese talk about. I've heard Nora talk about. I've heard a lot of people talk about how emotionally taxing it is. How emotionally taxing it is to share their stories. I think it would be really emotionally taxing. And I would hope that I would hope that people doing it have a lot of support. A lot of support. Eric visited the Celebrity Center. How did that go, Cricket? I didn't realize he'd done that. I know that Natalie said it was really, really hard for her to go protest at the Scientology org in St. Paul, and Nora has talked about how hard it is to come protest in downtown Portland. And that's not even the org that Nora was going to when she was still in the org, and Nora's been out for years and years and years. Reese has only been out for a year and a half, almost 2 years now, but not long. Not long. I mean, you know, the studies say that it takes at least a year to get through all 4 stages of culture shock. And culture shock can take longer than that to get through because you continue to run into things that are surprising or that bring up different expectations, right? It's all about the norms and the expectations. And that's really hard, right? With the norms and the expectations. That's why Reese says, you know, you get a room full of Scientologists and they're going to Scientology. It makes perfect sense. If you get a room of Americans, they're going to American, especially if it's a room full of Americans in China. They're going it you even see it in high schools. The exchange students bond together because their experience is as exchange students, and it brings them together even if they're from different countries. And so then they become the international students as an identity that they create through the experience of experiencing culture shock, which is sort of like what's going on in the anti-Scientology community. They are creating a community that is in somewhat is defined by Scientology, right? It is a very brave thing to do to help others. Yes, it's always brave to do things to help others, and it's not always an easy thing to do. From the outside looking in, it appeared very difficult for him, which was why I thought it was so brave. Then I just wanted to take the pain away. Yeah, I understand wanting to take the pain away, Cricket. I understand that completely. Come here. Come on up. Come on up. They want to see you. You want to come up? No. I'm going to have to get you up. Okay. Come on. Here he is. Let me change the camera. Hold on. Hi, baby. Yeah. Everybody wants to see you. What? Oh. No, don't lick my face. No, don't lick my face. No. No. Oh my, guys. Stop with my face. Trying to turn the background off, guys. Let's see. Okay. Oh my goodness. Stop. Oh, Orion. Okay. Stop. Yeah. There you go. I can't remember how I have the background on, guys. Oh my. Yes. There he is. He has given me all kinds of kissing. And I can't turn off the background, y'all. I'm sorry. It was hard on him. That's really too bad. Now maybe I can change the camera. Here we go. There we go, you guys. There's the puppy. That's a little better view. Brigitte is doing a live for Dwarfism Awareness Day tomorrow. That is excellent, Cricket. Thank you for telling us about that. Here is Orion for anybody who's been wanting after him. Yes. Are you done with the licking? It's time for the second Minnesota goodbye, y'all. Second Minnesota goodbye. Are you going to look at everybody again? They like it when you look at them. It gives them a complex that you're always looking away from the camera. Yeah. You think you could, oh, there a little bit. Yeah. You think you can look at the camera? I'm cutting off the top of my head, trying to show you more of Orion. I'm cutting off the top of my head, and I don't like that. Is he adorable? Is he being adorable? There you go, Bubba. Yeah, that's a big boy. Okay. So, guys, how many of you have traveled to another country and experienced culture shock yourselves? Let's talk about it for a minute. How many of you traveled to a different country and experienced culture shock yourselves? I traveled I'll tell you my great culture shock story. My son and I went to Israel and spent some time in the West Bank. We actually stayed with a family in the West Bank. We stayed in Ramallah for several days and very much enjoyed ourselves. Even rented a car. The thing that was hard about being in Ramallah, in Israel, all the signs are in Hebrew and in English, at least in Hebrew and in English. There is always in English, always. But in Ramallah and in the West Bank, it's all Arabic. It's all Arabic. So if you don't, so that was the culture shock thing for me, because, you know, if I'm in Germany and they tell me you need to go to the place that has the Volkswagen sign on it, I can read Volkswagen. Even though it's a German word, I can read it. But when I needed to go to the ice cream store, they said, just go to the ice cream store. It says ice cream store on it. And there's no way for me to read that it's the ice cream store, because I couldn't at the time read Arabic letters. So there was no way for me to read anything. It was incredibly challenging, difficult to get around. There were no maps. It was an experience. It was an experience. That's for sure. What was it like for you guys? What's the funniest culture shock story you guys have? We'll play a little bit of Wheel of Wednesday about culture shock. Imagine aliens landed on Earth and wanted to experience one of our strange human customs. Which one would you teach them first? Imagine aliens lived on our planet and wanted to learn about human customs. Which one would you teach them first? I would probably teach shaking hands first. That is what I would teach first. I would teach shaking hands first because it is, well, not for all cultures, not for all cultures, but for many cultures, it's a requirement. It's a requirement to know how to shake hands. So that's the first one. The next one is, what's the most surprising food combination you've tried or heard of? And I think the most surprising, I mean, it's de rigueur nowadays, but it was incredibly surprising the first time I tried it, is chicken satay with peanut sauce. It never occurred to me that peanut sauce, that you could use peanuts to make tasty things, because the only thing I've ever had, I mean, at that time, the only thing I had ever had containing peanuts was either peanuts or peanut butter. And so it didn't occur to me you could make a savory sauce out of peanuts. and that it would taste good, because all I imagined was peanut butter spread on chicken, and that sounded really gross. So I think that is the most surprising food combination I've tried or heard of in another country. But I'm sure there are others. Right, Susan? The amount, I'll tell you a story about that, Susan. The number of armed guards. So we did something that most people don't ever have to do when they're tourists in Israel. I rented a car in Ramallah, and so I had to drive through the crossing from Israel into Ramallah. And most Americans, when they do that, if they do that, they are on a tour bus, and the process is vastly different. So we were in line, and I managed to go into the wrong line. And so then, because I'd gone into the wrong line, I had to merge in front of other people. So think about this. These are all people who live in Ramallah trying to get through into Israel. They're all Palestinian. And here's the white girl merging in front of them. They were not happy with me to begin with. And I had in the car with me my 16-year-old at the time, my 16-year-old eldest. And we got to the checkpoint, and they wanted us to open the trunk. And so my son got out of the car and went around to the back of the car and opened the trunk. And you have to remember, there's armed guards everywhere. So he got out of the car and went to the trunk, and the guard wanted him to open our bags. And the tone, I was still in the car, and the tone that this young Israeli soldier, couldn't have been more than 19, this young Israeli soldier, the tone that he was taking with my 16-year-old son while holding a fully automatic weapon got me out of the car and to the back of the car faster than I think I've ever moved in my life, so that I could take over and get my son back into the car. I was more terrified at that point than I ever recall being in my entire life. That was scary. That was very, very scary. That was a scary situation. I did not like it one bit, not at all. It scared the tar out of me. Having all those armed guards, having that entire situation. And I've handled guns. I'm somewhat familiar with guns, but scores of 18-year-olds standing around with automatic weapons will, I don't know, make anybody nervous. It certainly made me nervous. So, third Minnesota goodbye, y'all. We are going fast today. Next week, Next week, we will do chapters 3 through 9. So that'll be pages 3 through 9. I can't see the pages. Does anybody have their book and can tell me what page chapter 3 starts on? We're going to go chapter 3 through chapter 9. Counting pages. So it's like page 12 through page 51. 12 to 51. Pages 12 to 51, chapters 3 through 9. Y'all are being really quiet today. Really, really quiet. Shall we do some rock painting? Third Minnesota goodbye. Here it comes. Cricket has been hard at work. I gave him a shorter time frame. Probably surprised him. Oh my goodness gracious. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. My goodness, you guys are quiet. Now, I don't get to show you until the next person shows up, but I get to go look at it. Because I know it's here. Oh, adorable. Adorable. So let me see if I can show you what I'm painting. I think I have a setting where I can show you. Oh, I have to turn that off. Let me try again. Turn off the background. Oh my goodness. So hard to do. You've never traveled outside of the country, but I remember when we left our part of New England, people looked at us like we were weird when we put vinegar on our French fries. Right, Cricket? You've never gone to a non-English speaking country. Well, I think if you haven't had culture shock, what Cricket talks about is actually a thing, right? I've often said we lived in Seattle for 10 years. I can't show you my painting unless I figure out how to turn off. Let me see if I can turn on to the right camera. Hold on. Let me try it one more time. Turn on to the right camera. The right camera. There we go. Now I should be able to show you. Does it work? No. No, it doesn't work. Does it work? Yes, it works. You can see my paints. Look at that, y'all. Mayonnaise on your French fries. I like mayonnaise on my French fries. It's very European. Very European. So I haven't decided yet what I am doing with this rock beyond painting it flesh color. Maybe you guys have some ideas. It needs to, it's almost covered on this side. I've almost done enough coats on this side to turn it over and try painting the other side. In Egypt, they had their farm animals on the apartment balcony. You know what? We hosted a Bahraini exchange student. And when he came here, his paperwork said that he had no dietary restrictions, none at all. Now, I knew that he was coming from Bahrain, which is a Muslim country. So I wasn't particularly expecting, you like this paint, guys? I wasn't particularly expecting the funny looks you get for having mayo on your fries. I know that's a thing people think is weird. People are funny. So our exchange student, his paperwork said there were no dietary restrictions, but I knew he was Muslim, coming from a Muslim country. And so I fully expected that there would be some dietary restrictions. What I didn't expect when he got here was that he wanted to keep 100% halal. Halal is the dietary rules for, it refers to what's allowed in Muslim culture, similar to kosher, referring to what's allowed in Jewish culture. So he wanted to eat only specifically halal food, which, if you're familiar with Jewish culture, there is a difference between food that is, many American Jews distinguish between many American Jews, yeah, no, the animals in Jewish culture and in, it's interesting, in Jewish culture and in Muslim culture, the dispatch method is almost exactly the same. The dispatch method for the animal is almost the same, which means that if for most, not all, but for many Muslims, if the meat is actually kosher, killed by a rabbi, then it's also halal. But just as you can say that Many Jews would buy non-kosher certified red meat. I am so sorry, Sunrise Dawn. What were you made fun of as a kid, Sunrise Dawn? So the same way that we know that there's kosher red meat, and then that most Jews don't buy red meat that's certified kosher. In the same way, many Muslims in this country don't buy meat that's certified halal. I went through a lot of teasing and harassment too, you guys. I was the ugly duckling girl through most of elementary, middle, and high school. And it was really hard, really hard. So I feel for both of you. So getting back to my story, our exchange student wanted not just halal food, but he wanted food that was certified halal. And that meant I had to go to a special butcher to get it. I had to drive all the way into town, and we were a half an hour outside of town in a small town. It was difficult. You were the only black girl, Scooter Mom? Shit. That's awful. That's awful. I am sorry, Scooter Mom. So this poor young man was in a situation where he wanted certified halal food, but it was going to be difficult for the host family to get it. And we were in communication with the exchange program and with their sheikh that they had on call. And I remember at one point, I am getting to the point that you said, Susan. I remember at one point, this young man's father was so frustrated and said, I don't understand what the problem is with getting halal food. You buy the chicken, you kill the chicken, it's halal. Mainly things like drowning a salad like dressing, liking to mix things together. As an already shy, insecure child, it was really embarrassing. I'm so sorry, Sunrise Dawn. And I'm sorry, Scooter Mom. That must have been really, really hard. I can't imagine what it'd be like to be the only one. You would feel very alone. So what exchange student's dad said was, you buy the chicken, you kill the chicken. It's halal. It's easy. Because they had all the farm animals, just like Susan said. Goats, chickens, lamb, all of it. Living on top of their house. Very common. Very common. You did have friends. Good, Scooter Mom. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you had good friends. Good friends make all the difference. It's a big deal to have good friends. I'm glad you did. So do we have a winner yet? This one is adorable today. We haven't had anybody show up. We're really stretching the third goodbye. It's really only the second Minnesota goodbye. So we've got a little bit of time. So that's my exchange student story. Exchange student dad got an education on the way food is like in America. It was an enlightening situation all the way around. We worked out the dietary issues, and hello, Mr. Soda Dispenser. How are you? We worked out the food issues with our exchange student, and he stayed for the full year, and he is still the son of my heart. Didn't help that one of the people who fussed at me about it was my mother. She didn't mean to be hurtful. I know she didn't, but it would really upset you. I'm sure it did, Miss Sunrise Dawn. I was an incredibly picky child. Very, very, very picky child. And my family gave me no end of grief about it. Sunrise Dawn, you don't need to do it. Dusty, you are the winner chicken dinner. Scooter Mom, I had the nicest visit with my mom this time. I'm Dusty, you won. So we have a new thing, Dusty. The third Minnesota Goodbye winner gets a trophy, gets a prize, and Cricket is making them. So Cricket will send you this picture, Dusty. If you send an email to him, Cricket will drop his email. You won, Dusty. You won. Look at that. Winner chicken dinner. There's Dusty's. I'm going to paint another coat on this rock. The rocks, some of them are so dark that if I'm painting a light color on them, I have to paint several coats. Isn't it nice? This one's got scotch. I haven't seen Soda this evening. He was in here earlier giving me all kinds of love. But he hasn't come by so far this evening at all. Not once. You love me too? You love me too? You said hi to everybody else, but I guess it's my channel. I'll go with that. Dawn, you don't need to do your live tonight. If you don't want to do it tonight, you don't need to do it tonight. It's important sometimes to take time off. That's really important. Dusty, what's for dinner? So here's the schedule, guys. Tuesday night is members only book club. And so we are going to be doing we will be doing members only book club shoot. Indigo, do you remember what chapters I told you we would be doing? Now I'm going to have to go look it up. Tacos. Dusty, you got to get Cricket's. Well, Cricket, I'll send it to Dusty. I've got Dusty's email, so I can send this right off to Dusty, no problem. Okay, what chapters are we reading? Hold on. Got to call up the right app. We are reading chapters 8 and 9 for members only book club. Chapter 9 is on how to undo mind control. Chapter 9 is on how to undo mind control. So I'm really looking forward to what Stephen Hassan has to say about undoing mind control. Chapters 8 and 9 for members only book club on Tuesday night. Wednesday night, I know Scooter Mom isn't Cricket does the best art. I just can't even. It is something else. Dusty, let me forward this to you right now while I am thinking about it. Dusty. Thought I had Dusty's email. Don't I have you? Yes, I do. Okay, there it is. Sorry, guys. I'll have to finish it up later. It doesn't want to do. But I've got it set up so I will remember. Oh, and a thumbs up because I did a thumbs up. The critters are excellent models for AI. You're exhausted tonight, and with all the crap going on in the SPTV world here lately, I'm being really picky about who I watch lately, and even more picky about which chats I actually talk in. Sunrise, I am so sorry. I knew I had it, Dusty. Dusty Soda Dispenser at Gmail. I'm not sure why it's not just populating for me, but Dusty, now it is. There it went. Okay. You should have it in your email, Dusty. You should have it in your email. I do a lot of lurking too, y'all. I do a lot of lurking too. It is unfortunate. will pass. That doesn't mean things will be the same again. But I don't think people can stay. Well, I was going to say, I don't think people can stay angry for that long. But clearly, I have been wrong. Clearly, I have been wrong because people showed up in my chat after it's been 4, 5, 6 months since things happened, and they still find it necessary to show up in my chat, which is terrifying and surprising. I concur. It's not my preference. And you know, that's the joy of YouTube. You can always click away and watch somebody else. It certainly was fun though when everybody was unified, wasn't it? There were some amazing things about this community when it was unified. And it has brought me nothing but sadness to watch cracks and crevices and separations grow, divides. Yeah, it was. It was pretty amazing. It was a community that I was really proud to be a part of. And the reality is, I think, you guys, that this is still a community that I'm proud to be a part of. It's just that we're all our own small little community. We're now the corner joint. Our affiliation here with SPTV has been broken. So you never chatted on YouTube before SPTV? It does feel like a family falling apart, sunrise, dawn. You watch a lot of What Did He Say Last Night? Yeah, Dusty. I never chatted on YouTube before SPTV either. I had made some videos, but I certainly didn't regularly go live before SPTV. I never thought this, what you guys have given me. I never thought in my wildest dreams that even having 7 people watch me on a random Sunday night was something that would happen. And here we are. It's disappointing to see the community fall apart, but all communities fall apart. And that doesn't mean that we can't. You never had a channel you didn't even know you could chat on YouTube. Wow, Scooter Mom. Red and Sunrise have always been your 2 favorite mods, and getting to be friends and to mod with them is amazing. Oh, Red. Thank you. Red, you didn't hear I had to chuckle. So last week, my professor was supposed to observe one of my classes. She was scheduled to observe my Monday night class, but she got sick. So then Thursday afternoon, around 1, she asked if she could observe my Thursday evening class, which starts around 5. And so I said, absolutely. Guys, I cannot tell you, I am still not certain. I still can't determine. You didn't know chats existed either. Really, Cricket? That's so funny, y'all. So quick aside, she asked me that at the very last minute, guys, and my anxiety level did not jump. I said, yes, sure. I mean, in part because the other option was having her do it tomorrow night, and I liked that idea even less. And at least having her do it on Thursday. Scooter, Cricket, and Dusty are pretty awesome too. Yeah. I think we have the awesome club here. It's all the best people hang out here. So Red, she observed my class on Thursday. And then after class, she asked if we could meet up over Zoom or in person on Friday. Yes, Scooter Mom. On Friday, if we could meet up and she could talk to me about her observations. And I said yes to that. And the level of anxiety I felt starting both of those experiences was so much less than I'm used to experiencing. So it's been just really interesting. So Shaquille, how are you? It is really good to see you. It's hard to sustain change movements. Volatility is part of its nature. Indeed, Cricket. It's like the progressive arm of the Democratic Party. It is hard to maintain cohesiveness amongst all of the differing factions. That is something that's difficult to do. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, isn't it, Scooter Mom? What have you've had your treatment, haven't you? Have you noticed any differences? So anyhow, I'm getting to the story, Red. This is a long lead up. So my teachers, the first thing she said was that my superpower is making people feel welcomed, creating a warm, inviting atmosphere, and making every single person feel valued. That's what she said my superpowers were. So I thought that was, I thought of you guys when she said that. Your mother is testing it without even knowing it. How's it working, Scooter Mom? You started on the left side, right? How are things, Shaquille? It's been a while since I've seen you. Or did you start on the right side? Well, we're just thinking about winding down. It's been really slow most of the afternoon. And she's right. Thank you, Sunrise Dawn. Well, you know, I've heard that feedback enough times now Yeah, I've heard that feedback enough times now that I'm actually starting to believe in yourself. And that's in part because of all y'all. It's in part because of all y'all. And so if I haven't told you lately, thank y'all. Each and every one of you. I had my last session for a while with my therapist. I'm having to. You started on my right side. I'm surprised at how calm you've been. There you go, Scooter Mom. What I was told is that they think that people have left-sided or right-sided nervous systems, and that you get the best results from the injection on the side that your nervous system of, similar to, thank you, Susan. Thank you. Similar to if you're right-handed or left-handed, right? So the idea is if you're right nervous system and you get the injection first, and then the injection works better in your right side. And so then on repeat visits, theoretically, if you find out you're right-sided, then you could have injections only in your right side. He said most people, the reason they start on the right side is most people are nervous systemed on the right side. I hope I'm remembering the side right. It could be completely opposite and be the left side. Don't let the Debbie Downers, second gens get you down. Our movement isn't about them anyway. It's about the people still in those buildings. Y'all are doing a great job, and I appreciate you all. Well, I think it's in part about the second gens, but I think you're right, Dusty. I think it is about the people still stuck inside. It's about taking the cult down. It's about doing, oh, guys, Robert, Soda's just about to visit. Thank you for coming, Robert. It is always so nice to see you. You have a great evening. Soda is making an appearance, y'all. Here he comes. There he is. Ghost Cat. Let me move the keyboard before he sits on it. And I will fix the camera so you can see him. And then we will get going. Look, there is a monster cat. Your doctor started on your right side because it was easier for him to access. Well, that's a good reason. That's a good reason, Scooter Mom. Boy, the color sure looks different at this angle, doesn't it? Hi there, Bubba. You're making a lot of noise. Thank you so much, Dawn. I'm glad to hear it. That makes me feel really, really good. You're not the only one who has said that mine is one of the few chats they feel safe to participate in. And I'm I'm really, really glad that y'all feel that way, and I really, really hope that we can keep it that way. That is my hope. Yes, send clips of news from smaller channels to Scooter Mom. Absolutely, Cricket. What Cricket said. Scooter Mom does the Scooter Report. Soda. He is huge, Susan. Come here. Come here. That's my cat, y'all. That's my cat. That be's my cat. Right there. He be's a big cat. Hey be's a big kitty. I don't know what I would do with little cats, y'all. He's 22 pounds. And he's gonna lick my nose. Are you gonna lick my nose? Show these people how big you are, huh? Could you guys hear him purring? He is a huge snuggle bug. He is a huge snuggle bug. Yeah. Okay. Okay, he's going to lay down now, guys. Let's see if we can show him in his full glory. Come here. There we go. Right like that. That's a good boy. Yes, that's a good boy. I'm going to do a thing. That's not a great picture. There he is. You got his face. Little bit of his face. Not that way, the other way. Oh my goodness, Sunrise Dawn. He is, well, you guys want to see Scotch? He is right within grabbing distance. Let me go get him. Hold on. Oh my goodness, Soda. There you are. Show everybody your beautiful face. Oh my goodness. Okay, guys. I shall be right back. He's not particularly thrilled about this, y'all. He's a little upset. He's a little upset. all in one stream. That hasn't happened in quite some time, Sunrise Dawn. Not in quite some time. Okay, that's the end of Scotch, y'all. That's the end of Scotch. Now, that was the longest third Minnesota goodbye we have ever seen. I am going to let y'all go. This will be a little bit of a short stream. Isn't it a beautiful tale? He's such a beautiful kitty. They're both beautiful kitties. Let's check out this award that Dusty won tonight. Let's just look at this glorious Scotch one more time. Isn't he something to behold? Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Cricket. You'll take what you can get. Yeah, I can't do much better than that. He is persnickety. He is persnickety. It's like a corral. Yeah, a corral of 22-pound pets. They're all the same size. They're all the same weight. Different colors and species. Pretty adorable, huh? Okay, y'all. Thank you for coming. Next week, next Sunday night, we'll read chapters 3 through 9. Tuesday night, we'll read chapters, what did I say, 8 and 9 out of. Tuesday night, we'll read chapters 8 and 9 for members only. And Wednesday, we'll have Wheel of Wednesday. So until then, y'all, hugs and hugs. Thanks for stopping by. And I'll catch y'all